Welcome, welcome. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the Nurse Mark and the Green Nurse Daily Dose of AFA.
Oh, goodness. And you know what we bring to you today. We are bringing you hope and inspiration for growth and healing. And we are truly changing the dialogue around what it means to feel good and be high, right? With that H is hope, I is inspiration, G is growth, and H is for healing. So we want you to all feel AFA. And in case if you forgot what that means, Mark.
Oh my gosh, you know what it means, everybody. You're absolutely fucking amazing. And I am going to say it every day that we do this. You are.
Yes.
You are.
Yes, you
the
are.
only one who doesn't think so is you.
Yes, that's just true.
Doesn't matter what other people think, right, Sherry? Because what other people think of me is none of my fucking business.
And when I stop, when I stop worrying about what other people think of me, I'm able to focus on what I need to do for me to be the best version of myself. Right. So I am loving and powerful when I show up in the world and not an asshole.
You know what? It's okay. It's human to be an asshole. You can be an asshole from time to time. Sure. You can be one. Even with that, you are absolutely amazing.
Oh, thank you, Mark.
Absolutely, man.
I do make myself giggle. So anyway,
we got a great dialogue this morning. Good morning, Joseph Smith. So good to see you here, man.
Hey, Joe.
So we've got a lot to talk about this morning. A lot of fun stuff. It's hump day. It's Wednesday. It's a new year. There's so much going on. And so in my reading today, I picked something out of something that I got from a coach of mine a while ago. Good morning, Denise. Morning, Carrie Lee.
Hey, lady.
I got something from a coach of mine. I thought it was really important to have this in our conversation today at the beginning of the year, because I want 2021 to be the best year I've ever had. I mean, it's going to be hard to top 2020. You know, even if people say it was a pandemic, it was an awful year. Guess what? I had the best year ever. I mean, I really did. I have my business partner that I love, my work wife. I got married. I have the most beautiful, amazing wife. It's perfect for me. And so here's what it was about. It was about forgiveness. People have the hardest time with forgiveness, but it is absolutely the key to living a free, happy, joyous life. It is at the root of it. And I'll just give you something real quick on this. Forgiveness is not really about the person who we say has done wrong. It's about the one who is forgiving. It's about finding the courage to step out of the way it should have been. Oh, Sherry.
Woulda. Right?
Sherry, people get so hung up on, if I forgive that other person, I'm letting them get away with something. Here's the reality of the situation. And I heard this a long time ago, and it stuck with me so powerfully. When I think about forgiveness, I think of this little saying, and it is, having a resentment against somebody is like drinking poison and expecting them to die.
Whoa, there you go. Wow,
that's how it is. When you carry that resentment, it doesn't affect that other person in the least, but you are affected negatively. So you carry that, and it's awful for you. So
it's here it is, and it's all about energy too, right? So if you're living in that energy, it is negative energy, and it's energy that's going to suck the life out of you. So if you think about forgiveness, forgiveness may be a little bit of work, but truly it's about a shift or a change of perspective. It's
scary as shit. Because you have to have the courage to step into saying, okay, I'm not going to tie this whole thing to the other person. I'm going to let it go, and whatever it's not condoning what happened. That is the biggest thing, I think.
Here it is too. What do we say? Like, what are other things? Nothing that anyone says or does has anything to do with us, right?
Nothing. It really doesn't. Yes. It really doesn't. If somebody doesn't like you, it's got nothing to do with you. They don't even really see you.
No, they don't.
They don't.
It's a mirror. It's the energy. It's the, what are we projecting back to one another? You know, here is that, the projection. And how can we shift that
Yeah.
You're looking through a different lens. We talk about
Right. Put a different pair of glasses on. So I really thought that was powerful for today, Sherry, because it's the beginning of the new year. Let's go into the new year with just forgiveness. Let's just let it all go. And again, and you don't have to condone what happened. You can just let it go and be free of that. And 2021 is a blank slate of open possibility.
All right. Well, I love that. That is really powerful. This brings up the word of the day. So the word of the day. Am I a little fuzzy? I forgot to put my earbuds in. Okay.
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay, I thought it was a little fuzzy. Okay, so it was very, very interesting about forgiveness, and going to tie into some of the words that we talked about yesterday.
Yep.
About focused, balance, focus, smiling, right? So that was really powerful. And so you just talked about being. Okay. So what's coming up for me is that my word of the day yesterday was balance, focus. So I completely got a lot done. I was able to balance personal and professional, and I was really getting stuff done. And there was a lot of little interruptions in my day.
Listen, you are probably the most awesome doer that I know. One of the most. You do shit, like you get it done. That's one of the things I love about you.
So, well, here's the thing that's just so interesting about that. What we need to think about, or what I need to think about, and it was an interesting thing about what happened yesterday, an experience I had, was that how am I being when I'm doing?
Well, there you go.
Am I being positive or am I being negative? And if I am being on that other side of the coin that I don't like, how can I shift out of it? So here's a really good story.
Yeah.
So yesterday was while I was practicing balanced focus with a smile on my face, my phone kept breaking down. It has been an issue for the past 6 months, and it's been getting worse and worse and worse. And I had a doctor's appointment on the phone yesterday, and the doctor tried 5 times and couldn't get through. I've got a child with a disability. So phones, it was important. So I was really, really frustrated. And I was just like, it hasn't been resolved in the negative chat. So I was like, well, let me just shift that mindset. I was thinking about, that mental daily diet. And I'm like, I'm going to smile through this phone call. Right? So I'm thinking of all these little tools that we did. And then I had to really focus on shifting the energy around how I'm going to make that phone call. So bottom line was this. I shifted it to a place where, I'm going to pretend I'm calling for an angry friend. Right. So I get on the phone and I'm calling for, phone a friend. So I was stepping out of the discomfort, the frustration, the anger. And I was able to get through the phone call in a way where it got resolved, which was just amazing.
Imagine that.
Really amazing. And I was like, it was an aha moment. And then the other thing that was just really so interesting about the dialogue was that the serviceman on the other end of the call disclosed to me that he had leukemia. So, and then the dialogue shifted around to cannabis. Of course, it always does. And he's new to it and he wants to explore it. And so how cool was that to have that mini consultation on the phone with him? How that shift of
right. So would that have been available if you stayed in the holy shit, this sucks, this is the worst thing, I'm angry about this? Would any of that presented itself? Would the conversation have gone in that direction? Who knows?
Probably not.
Probably not. But it went into that other direction because you were smiling, because you were,
ending. So here
you were being that person.
I was being kind to myself.
Yes.
Right? I was being, here it is. How can I show up in the world when I'm frustrated? How can I be the most loving and powerful so I don't hurt myself or anyone else? There you go.
Love it. Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Sherry.
So,
so what's your word of the day today?
Oh yeah. My word of the day. Sorry, really quick.
No.
Being. So I'm going to, because of the whole polarity thing, I'm going to be very conscious of how I'm being when I'm doing. So it's being is the word be. And
beautiful.
Forgiveness. Here it is. And then the forgiveness word, forgiving myself when I'm not being the best version of myself.
It's always about who you're being, because it's, what? People make judgments about other people and say, oh, they're just like that. Well, guess what? That's just their way of being at that particular moment.
Yeah.
That can change.
It can totally
change. It's not who they are. So that's lovely, Sherry.
Oh, thank you, Nurse Mark. And how
Yeah.
about you?
My word of the day today is, yeah, mine. So I started off Monday with discipline. So mine today is, and I've used this before because I'm in that mode, perseverance.
There you go.
There are a lot of things that are just almost at the moment of being completed, and I just need to persevere. I need to make it happen.
Me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
great.
we got this.
We got this. So how are we taking care of ourselves today? We might go a little bit over because we've got some good juicy stuff to talk about.
Oh, we do have some juicy stuff. You know what? I'm going to do what I did yesterday when I began the day, and that's I'm going to meditate and I'm going to move. So I'm going to take a walk down through this lovely place where I'm living at right at the moment. And I'm going to go down to the water, and I'm going to just, I'm going to feel it's a beautiful day. It's cold, right? And you know what else I'm going to do? I was on a webinar with Entrepreneurs Organization yesterday. I'm a member of that organization, and it was with Ben Greenfield, and he's a big health guru, New York Times bestseller, young guy, and he's sort of into biohacking. And so he had some tips, and one of the tips was for a week, take a shower and alternate hot and cold, right? Because hot and cold therapy is a huge way to stimulate your endocannabinoid system. So for 10 seconds, it's hot. For 20 seconds, it's cold. Now, I did this just before bed last night. Let me tell you, that cold 20 seconds, it's holy cow. Oh my gosh. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to take my walk. I'm going to meditate and go through the day.
That's awesome. So here it is the hot challenge. So we should add that to our mental daily diet, the hot cold challenge.
Try that hot cold challenge. Like, it's for a week. You do it 2 times a day, right? Well, like, do it like a total of 10 times, but stay in that cold. So 10 seconds of hot, 20 seconds of cold. And I'm telling you, that 20 seconds of cold is going to feel like an eternity. Yeah. But once you get back to the hot, it's like,
right.
And then there's a ton of research around it, right?
Yes, there is a ton of research around it. The Wim Hof method, we could get into that.
Exactly. And that's part of it. One of the other tips he said was, as part of your day, just do some Wim Hof breathing or some breathing exercises, which, by the way, Sherry, I want to fail to mention, spread the word. Starting on January 25th, we have a breathwork facilitated 6-session program that's going to go on with our friend Jacques Terone from São Paulo, Brazil. Jacques, amazing. If you haven't done breathwork, holy shit. You can transform your 2021 right in this 3-week program. Okay, so
truly,
you'll see more of that coming out.
Yeah, the breath work is almost like having a psychedelic experience without taking psychedelics. It's like
right. Oh, it's crazy.
Into your brain, it's like filling up your brain cells with a lot of oxygen.
Excuse me.
A little bit better. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, it's going to be. It is amazing. So with breath work, it really is a way to transform.
Love it.
Yeah. But Sherry.
Okay, let's get into the segment today.
Let's do it.
And we'll talk about what I'm doing tomorrow to take care of myself, because it'll be interesting. So anyways, yesterday we did a lot of chatting about terpenes. We talked about humulene, which is really great for appetite suppressant and a lot of whole host of other things. And then we also talked about the cannabinoid THCV, which pairs really well with humulene for managing appetite. So today we're going to talk a little bit about diabetes and healing with cannabis. So when we educate, okay, I'm just going to go over the endocannabinoid system really quickly, and then we'll get into just some bullet points.
Yep.
So people will say, oh, can cannabis help my diabetes? And I'm like, well, it depends upon the type of diabetes that you have. Number one, when it comes to regulating, glucose in our systems and insulin levels. So diabetes type 1 is this. It's a structural problem where patients do not make insulin. So there's no, so the endocannabinoid system can't stimulate insulin. However, it can.
Yeah, those cells in the pancreas are just not there.
They're not there.
They've died or whatever's happened, right?
Yep. It's like an autoimmune condition. There's a lot of people that are born with it or they develop it.
Right.
Diabetes type 2 is a functional problem where patients don't respond to the insulin that they're making. So, right. And so over time, they start not making enough of their own.
And it's an epidemic in the country.
Yeah.
Type 2 diabetes is truly an epidemic in the United States, and it's diet related, and it's,
It's totally diet related.
It is. So there's a lot of pre-diabetes out there, and if you catch it ahead of time,
Yes.
I mean, but it runs in my family. My grandmother, her father was diabetic, type 2. Both my brothers are diabetic. So you got to be on this, folks. I mean, diabetes, Sherry, having worked in the space, diabetes is a horrible disease. It is just, it brings on so many other issues.
And this is, well, I could go through the long-term complications of diabetes.
Okay.
And then I'm going to talk a little bit about the endocannabinoid system and how it works, and then we'll talk about symptoms. Okay, so really quickly, the long-term complications of diabetes, right? Just think about this over time. Neuropathy or nerve damage. Our peripheral, hands and feet and legs, right? We have this autonomic area where we have this nerve damage that goes into our peripheral system and also our autonomic system, such as our bladder and sex organs and GI tract. So neuropathy causes chronic pain. And this chronic pain is from the nerve damage causing peripheral and autonomic neuropathy.
And there's not a lot of medication that works for neuropathic pain.
They put
I mean, what do? They use gabapentin occasionally and other ones, but they're not that effective. And thank goodness cannabis is showing to be much more of an effective medication for neuropathic pain.
Absolutely. It is amazing. And that's what we're going to talk about in the next segment. So retinopathy, glaucoma, and cataracts. So just think about this. So we have damage to the nerves and blood vessels in the eyes.
Right.
So then we have all of this glucose circulating through our system, and we're not able to get it into our cells. So insulin carries sugar into our cells.
So whether it's because the cells are insulin resistant, or there's other mechanisms of action that cause that glucose to not be distributed to the cells.
Right, exactly. So cannabis may stabilize blood sugar by reducing these catecholamines or stress-related hormones in our body to decrease inflammation. So it's truly when our body, we have these elevated glucose levels and our diabetes isn't being managed, we are in a chronic inflammatory state. So here we go.
We sure are.
So eye problems. Then we have kidney problems. So elevated glucose level causes damage to the filtering cells of our kidneys.
Right.
Heart disease.
Yep.
Damage to the vessels of our heart, coronary artery disease, and cardiomyopathy.
Yeah, you see the theme here? It's damage to those little tiny vessels, the little nerve endings, the tiny vessels, the blood vessels. Yeah, because of all that excess glucose.
All that excess glucose. So then we have all of these vascular diseases. So cerebral vascular disease is damage to the tiny blood vessels in the brain that has been known to lead to stroke.
Yeah,
that's
my grandmother had. By the time I was 5, she probably had 3 strokes because of her diabetes.
Oof.
Yeah.
Then we get into the peripheral, which we have. Peripheral is far away, right? Legs, peripheral vascular disease, or peripheral arterial disease, which causes muscle aches, numbness in the calf. So they call that claudication. This can lead to vascular problems. And these vascular problems actually lead to potential wounds and infection. So if you imagine you can't feel your feet, right? Because they're numb all the time and in pain.
That's why diabetics, you should be wearing shoes at all times, because you're not going to know if you step on a nail or something sharp, may not even notice it. And that wound will be very slow to heal. And, I mean, my great grandfather lost both legs because of diabetes, because that's, he got gangrene in one of his toes, and boom, boom, boom. That's just the progression. I mean, back in the day, obviously, my great grandfather, it was in the 40s and 50s. So, it was a little bit different. Yeah.
Chronic infections. So just think about that. Losing limb, chronic infections.
Yeah.
We have a compromised immune system, more prone to infections, especially those wound infections.
Yeah.
So the part that's so cool, the endocannabinoid system, we're going to review this and then talk about the benefits really quick. The endocannabinoid system is the largest neuroregulatory system in our bodies. So if you see that umbrella that we all talk about, that I talk about all the time, is that umbrella represents our body. The spokes of the umbrella are different organ systems, and the fabric of the umbrella are those neurotransmitter signaling systems that give messages to tell our body to either do something or stop doing something. Tippy top of the umbrella is where we make our internal endogenous cannabinoids. Our endocannabinoid system blankets on the umbrella. So we have these receptor signaling systems, and they play a role in regulating energy balance, appetite, insulin sensitivity, pancreatic cell function, and metabolism of lipids. So what does this mean? We want to support a healthy endocannabinoid system. How do we do that? Cannabinoids and other health and wellness activities.
Absolutely.
Let's focus on really quickly. We got a great list of reported benefits of using cannabis if you have diabetes. Ready?
Go.
1, stabilizes blood sugar levels by reducing the stress-related hormones. Acts as an anti-inflammatory, which lacks the side effects of steroids, which diabetics need to avoid.
Right.
Acts as an antioxidant to help decrease that arterial inflammation. It's a vasodilator, which helps keep blood vessels open and can reduce blood pressure and improve circulation. That's really cool. This is a good one. Neuroprotectant. So cannabis helps to protect the nerve covering from inflammatory attack. And so that has to do with a lot of our brain cells, right? Lessons.
I like my brain cells.
I know, totally. You know, brain cells.
I don't have a lot of them left now. Just kidding.
That's why.
I have so many, my head hurts.
That's why we're cannabinoid friendly. Keep those brain cells filled up.
Yeah.
So it lessens neuropathic pain, and neuropathy comes from inflammation of the nerves,
right,
by these particular proteins that the blood deposits. So that triggers an immune response. So just imagine auto-regulating that ability and decreasing that pain naturally.
Right. And, you know, in neuropathic pain, we're talking about a lot of cancer patients too, after, you know, post-treatment, they have neuropathy. So this is applicable there as well.
Yeah, really good. Okay, we're getting there. Okay, cool. We're almost done. So, antispasmodic agent. So it helps to relieve diabetic muscle cramps and GI upset.
Bingo.
That's really cool. Really. And then here we go. This is one of my favorites because I'm really a cannabinoid eater. Cannabis used as in food products, infused oils, can provide long-lasting levels of key cannabinoids that are beneficial for both arterial and cardiac health. Really cool.
Yeah.
Another thing that we talk about too is eating hemp, you know, hemp protein, hemp seed oil, hemp hearts. Hemp milk contains a fatty acid called gamma linolenic acid, which is an essential omega-6 fatty acid that can help ease the pain of the diabetic neuropathy, improve blood glucose control, and help ease symptoms of inflammation such as rheumatoid arthritis. So really, really cool. I love how we can even incorporate cannabinoids from our food choices through hemp.
Yes.
All right. Cannabis topical. So really, really cool. Can be applied directly to hands and feet that are affected by this neuropathic pain and tingling. And oftentimes we see a lot of cannabinoids, you know, full spectrum mixed with a lot of other phytobotanical nutrients and essential oils that can actually help decrease, you know, and increase the effectiveness of that topical.
Love it.
Also, too, which a lot of patients have reported, is that restless leg syndrome. And so that is not only from using topicals, but also from ingesting.
And I just got done doing my capstone project for my master's in medical cannabis science. And one of the modules I had to do was on sleep, and it was about restless leg syndrome. And it's, you know, it's related to the levels of dopamine and serotonin in the brain. And of course, you know, cannabinoids have that positive effect on being able to help regulate those. So it makes perfect sense that it would have efficacy, that it would work for restless leg syndrome. Have you ever experienced restless leg syndrome?
Oh boy, my restless leg syndrome.
Baby, I had a period of time. It's funny how you go through life. Remember I said, you know, things just kind of go through phases. There was a phase, Sherry, where I had restless leg syndrome. It's awful. Like I'd be in bed in the middle of the night and I'd be like, oh my God, I gotta freaking move.
I know.
And I'd get out of bed and I'd have to walk around. Like,
Yeah. Can I tell you, I had that. Well, first of all, they called it restless body syndrome for me because I was just like,
you don't do anything half-assed. You had to have restless body syndrome.
no, but it was related to ADHD, which was really interesting.
Oh, yeah.
And then once that quieted down, it went to my legs and then it went away. And I think part of it for me had to do with that autoimmune condition where my endocannabinoid system was truly, my umbrella was completely.
Isn't it just that wonderful web of everything interrelated? And that's why cannabis and cannabinoids are so powerful.
Yes. So when we look at the umbrella, we look at our nerves, right? So when we're talking about diabetes, you know, the immune system, the eyes, the brain, the heart, the cardiovascular system, all of these things are different spokes on our umbrella. And so when we bring cannabinoids into our diet, it works on the entire umbrella all at the same time. Plant cannabis for the win.
Plant medicine for the win.
Totally. So here we go. So if you or someone you love is suffering from chronic illness, chronic pain, if you or someone you love is interested in learning how to incorporate cannabis into your daily life for health and wellness, or if you're a newbie out there and you're cannabis curious, you want to have a recreational or a social adult use experience, contact us. We're good at that. We enjoy teaching.
Well, we do.
That's what we do.
What we do.
Contact us at www.thegreennurse.com.
Yes. And, you know, I say it every day. If you're in the healthcare space, we have a community for you. Come on in. We're absolutely healing the world, and we need you to be a part of that. Join us. We have mentoring programs. We have information. We're holding hands and singing Kumbaya. How can you say no to that?
Wait, no, we're singing Cannabis Baya.
Cannabis Baya. And thanks.
Go ahead.
Thanks everybody for stopping by. Oh my gosh, we had so many people come in. Oh, and Robin, I have Raynaud's syndrome, right? And you know what? That cold shower didn't bother me at all. It was the craziest thing. I didn't do anything. It was great. Anyway.
Let me think. Okay, so really quick before we do our awesome ending, I want to plug our shows today. So literally, I want to say hi to Joseph Smith. You're out there. I'm giving you big hugs and nugs of good juju. Basically, we're gonna be going live between 4:20 and 6:20. We're doing our Canna Talk segment on there.
Oh yeah.
And I'm going to be talking about a lot of good juicy things. And so he has a really, really cool band coming on. And this band is, they create their music in their cannabis grow rooms, their cannabis gardens. So they actually write and produce and record their music with their plants. So I am really excited.
Spirit of the plant. All right, that's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to being there.
And then tonight, okay, we're going to bring that spirituality to the next level. We are bringing in, so tonight is our first show for Nurse Mark and the Green Nurse on Wednesday night. And we're going to start the year off having Sister Suzanne Carroll on. And she is going to bring cannabis. She's going to bring cannabis and religion together. She's going to bring cannabis and spirituality together. And her story is truly inspiring. And I hope you join tonight at 8 p.m.
It's going to be fabulous. Yep. So busy day. What kind of day? AFA day. Yes. Forgive. Start off with forgiving yourself. Whatever you're thinking negative about yourself, let it go and forgive. So I'm going to have an AFA day, and I hope you do too. Sherry, what's it all about?
Living your best life.
Yeah. All right, folks. See you tomorrow. Thanks for stopping by.